2, 1. Heads up. So what I was saying is I can't just go to sleep thinking about marriage and then wake up if I did sleep. I think I slept. I wasn't moving. Thinking about marriage without then going online talking about my rights. Okay? As it is a bit cold, I have a blanket around my shoulders. So just out of bed. Let's have a look at the old how to. Is that any better? You know, not so much meat to carry around. That's all I'm going to say. So, you know, because on YouTube video live, there is not an option to be able to have the video unmirroring. Mirror, mirror on the wall. So basically, what I'm trying to just gonna get this off my head, otherwise it's gonna go round and round and round and round forever. If you are a Christian, like a real, you know, you read the Bible, yeah? Don't get drunk, all that jazz. You will probably marry a Christian. If you are a Muslim, right? You'll probably marry a Muslim, otherwise you'll want them to convert. Generally speaking, if you are a Muslim, you know, hard to know when you have to be. But if you're a Baha'i, your chances of marriage are pretty fucking small. There are hardly any Baha'is. Christians think we're in a cult. Muslims want us to convert. Hindus tend to marry in their caste, and Buddhists generally are not getting married. So tiny, because we want to not have sex before marriage. That's the thing. Everybody mostly outside of those religious institutions, not even getting into Judaism, pork, if it goes well enough, perhaps marriage. Now these are called rights, when it's like, you can't just kick me out because, you know, we're both in this together. And at the same time, we can go to Tunisia on holiday. It's completely safe. I know in the UK it's always in the news that there's bombs, but I've been there near Susa when there was apparently a bomb and there wasn't. So I know there's an orange amber warning about going to Tunisia, but you can go places like that which are largely Islamic, and you have, like, you can stay in the same room because you've got a marriage certificate. Okay, then if you have children, because you know, were cuddling during your holiday, and you the female body of the two of you conceives, then you'll have that baby, and probably social services will, who is like, isn't that like a Christian thing? Isn't that like, in the UK I'm talking about, Jesus is Lord, so obviously church is in charge. And you know, if you have a female that has a baby outside of marriage, you can't cope, can you, on your own? And you can't prove that you can cope, so it'll get taken before there's any trouble. But if you don't want to get married in the church, okay, whoever you are, whichever the combinations of bodies in the two of you, I'm not talking about polygamy, you know, people marrying your dog next, okay? I'm just saying, if there's two of you and you don't want to get married in church, in the UK you go registry office, okay, which is, again, it's council run, so it's quite similar, and you have to go, this is the point that I was getting to, through all of these vows, okay? I don't remember them because that day was a while ago, got annulled, because yeah, it was a long story, forcing me to, just no consent, okay? So then, therefore, it was annulled due to duress, and I went insane before it happened, okay? Couldn't say no. It was an ongoing situation of I can't say no. So, but we went to the registry office and we did these vows, right? And then we got to option, either say I will or I do, okay? We opted for, I said, just say I will, okay? And my point is, all that might not be wise to put this out on the internet. So just in Hertford, yeah, not about the whole United Kingdom, but about the whole United Kingdom in Hertford, could we just sign the register and then you just say, right, you guys married now? Why the vowels? If we're not allowed to say God, Allah, or any other names of God in the registry office setting, check the facts, that's how it was in January 2018, okay? then if there's no God allowed, who are we making these vows to? Each other. So if we're making vows to each other, why have we got to use those vows that have been written by the council, yeah? The local authorities. Why have we got to use the local authorities' vows? If we're just making a vow to each other, we'll just say, just sign. Okay, I might even be in a wheelchair, so I don't really want, to be in a wheelchair going, I can't remember what they are. Anyone else know? Okay, that's because you don't want to get married in church. You're not Muslim, so you're not getting married in a mosque. If that's legal in the UK, I'm not really sure. Baha'i religion is not recognised, so we can't just say the Baha'i vows for between man and woman, that is, okay? Which is verily, no, do you know what? I need to look it up. Verily, it has verily in it. We can't just do that because the Baha'i religion is not recognised in the UK, even though the UK government and everyone else, the monarchy and everyone else, has known about the Baha'i faith for a long time. It's not legally recognised. So as a Baha'i, what we need to do within 24 hours, once it's been, the couple has investigated each other's character, obviously, and then they've decided and they have to both be attracted to each other. Okay, that's key, guys. Then they go to mums and dads, complicated, and be like, right, we would like to get married. Is that okay with you? Right, and then they've got parental permission. And then what they have to do is within 24 hours, they have to go to the registry office, do the registry office thing, then leave the registry office because you can't have any mention of God in the registry office in the United Kingdom. Courtesy, thank you. But what you do have to do is then go to another venue, have 2 witnesses for that as well, and then you'll do your Baha'i vow, and also you must consummate it within that 24 hours. Okay, nice and simple. Now, obviously, my mum is now married to, and we call them handlers in the grooming industry. Obviously, she has worked with equine business for a long time. Check Sully Deeds, Lane Deeds, Farm. Anyone from the 90s in Hertfordshire might know that there was a woman named Gail breeding horses for competition work. She had a few children as well, Dominic, someone else, love him, and me. I also worked for her. Okay, and because all hands on deck, but there's a groomer around, a handler we call them in the industry, and she's still with him. So if I say to my mum, I'd like to get married, could you give permission? Guess who else knows about it? Okay, so complicated. In cases where you might be worried about getting parental consent, or you can't get parental consent because one of the parents or everyone is completely fucking racist and won't give consent, for example, you would either have to wait a very, very long time until they change their minds, we'd have to make an application to the Universal House of Justice and be like, hi, we've actually waited 3 years now. For example, I'm not suggesting that everyone waits 3 years with racist parents, but I'm just saying then they'll be like, is it okay if we because these guys are okay with it, this guy's not, they might hopefully just be like, what, under these circumstances, or they might just be like, what, now that I know your parents or that parent was really, really, really violent, let's say, probably best that they don't know where you're going to, go off into the future into. So that's why I always recommend writing to the Universal House of Justice. If you're a member of the Baha'i faith and you do want to get married and you have any problems getting marriage consent from the parents or living parents, obviously you're not going to do a Ouija board, but I'm just saying, do that. Now, obviously, rules of marriage are that you don't have sexual intercourse before marriage. Obviously that is just with my hands, I'm doing a demonstration the best I can, but it's kind of complicated. But just don't have the carnal knowledge before you get married, because then you have a better chance. Have conversations about it though, otherwise you won't have a better chance of successful marriage going forwards. But however, I must say that we are past the medieval times, because back then if you had sex with people outside of marriage, you would get a certificate from the vicar, was it? The church anyway, death penalty for unauthorized carnal knowledge, which spells fuck, which is a word that's not allowed on YouTube. It'll be blanked out in the closed captions, but fuck stands for unauthorized carnal knowledge, and that's why people got hung in the past reportedly for having sex outside of marriage, because you might have a baby and then who's the dad? Okay, who's your daddy? Because the mum bit is fairly obvious. Like when I had my baby, and the government, the local authority, how do I call them, the local council, children's services, I know what they're called again, social services, children's services is the one, preventing child abuse in advance. I can't remember what the thing about that was, but basically you knew it was me because it was out here. And eventually came out as well on a holy day of all days. I think it was Abdul Bahar's birthday, which is, you know, because I'm so cute. So basically what I'm trying to say is, as I woke up like this and I went to sleep like this, I'm just saying that basically it seems complicated. It seems really, really fucking complicated. I'm glad that gays are allowed to marry now, because, you know, you've got that whole we have the whole civil ceremony thing, which is what got me on this conversation about having to do the vows without mentioning God, okay, because that could mean anything, and not making a vow between myself and you and God, just making a vow between us, but it's written by someone else, when I just want to be pushed into the room, into my wheelchair, wearing a beautiful gown, and just fucking sign the register so that we can then travel together, and there won't be too many problems if we do break up. We have financial protections. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll just remove myself from the screen for a moment of time. Thank you for the thumbs up. I do this on about £1,700 a month. Ooh, which is really since November, December that has been, and I have somewhere to live. So thanks very much. I'll remove myself just in case there's any more of this to come out because I've just woken up. Anyone else to shout out the window? Oh, went back on my words. Well, what else is there? So, no churches. God, why are there so many homeless? You know, so you have insurance, do you not? Why so many homeless churches? Well, I'm a homeless wanderer of God as well, okay? Which in Arabic parlance is Allah. I'm just saying, if there was an extremely attractive, person, right? Because I do they, them with the prophet or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, if there was an extremely attractive person, I'd even had the hot sauce since 2012. Let's just try and get with the youth parlance now. I had a crush on them. We cannot say that anymore. Parlance. If there was a very attractive, if I'd been attracted to somebody from 2012 and they said to me, you know what, I'll go civil with you. Put me in a chair, in a very nice gown, we'll go and sign the register. My mum don't need to know. We're not getting a lot involved in this, all right? Not necessary. It's a civil protectionary thing. Now, if there was a very incredibly attractive man who very inspiring and intelligent and trapped in a situation, God forbid, I also, but then we have to get my mum involved. And at that point, I'm like, my mum does not need to know. I will have a private conversation with her. There's no local spiritual assembly. There's no local house of worship. We can get the NSA involved, the National Spiritual Assembly, the National House of Justice. These are complicated matters to do with Baha'ism, which is a kind of mental illness. I'm just trying to say, then in the case of a bona fide male body, please do not try to sew appendages into yourself. Perfect parts. If there was a mandem, God help them, I would just phone my mum and be like, Mum, we are getting married, that's cool with you, yeah? Don't tell no one. Now there's a problem as well. So I'm just saying, as a Baha'i, marriage is fabulous. It's a fortress of, what was it again? But do all the bits right. No sex. You will intercourse, okay? You might know yourself, but just don't spread it around. And you'll be fine. Just the communication bit is important as well. And I really piss mandems off. I don't know, they're always like, you don't respect me. And I'm like, up here, I'm like, really, sir? I wonder how that happened. All right. And this has been Twerk TV. If you search for Twerk Radio, they're loads better. They're in India. I don't know how we ended up both having 2WR UK as our names. It was my pen name back years ago, 2008. Just don't put cameras in front of me. I'm fucking weird enough as it is already. And do this more often. Know how to, yes. You know, get some wisdom. That's what I say. Now, if you've already fucked your eyes out, you know, you're probably going to fall out soon enough. That's all I'll say. So your marriage could fix it, but divorce is extremely difficult. So I'm breaking my toes. Cricket, I love it.